Hey, it's your Las Vegas poker coach. On this podcast, we take a professional mindset to talk about poker and make some money at the game we all love. I invite you to listen in as we talk strategy, casinos, and life in general. Thanks for tuning in. Hey everybody, it's your Las Vegas poker coach with another episode here. Hey, before we go any further, can you please do me a favor and click on the like or subscribe in whatever player you're using? It really helps the podcast grow, and I appreciate you taking the time to do that. So this episode is called The Diet of a Poker Pro, and you know what? I don't even know if I should be doing this episode. Listen, spoiler alert, don't take food advice from fat people, okay? That's the best advice I can give to anyone. Don't listen to me for any health advice. But I want to share what I've been doing, because if it helps even just one person, that's a positive thing. Or maybe it just helps you and gives you a different perspective on different things to think about in your own diet. Because let's face it, if I'm playing the probabilities, the person listening to this podcast is fat, right? I mean, Americans are fat. Increasingly people around the world are fat. Because guess what? There's a McDonald's in a lot of countries. I've been all over the world, and McDonald's is there, let me tell you. So chances are, you could probably lose some weight, but don't take advice from me. The only advice I can really give anybody, and I think is good advice, is, just take care of yourself. Keep up with your medical appointments, get your blood pressure checked, get your heart checked. Those things are important. Those things will put you in a hospital with very serious things faster than anything else. So just try to take care of yourself and live a long life. That way you can play more poker. But yeah, I thought I'd share my diet with you, and let me know what you think. So the bottom line is that I've lost well over 100 pounds recently. Let's just call it in the post-pandemic years. I've lost well over 100 pounds, and I still have a ways to go. But, there's been a couple of things that have kind of helped me along the way that I want to make the focus of this podcast episode. So there's no shortcuts. I didn't get any bariatric surgery. I don't think I could ever put myself through bariatric surgery. So I used a combination of the keto diet and intermittent fasting. Personally, I've been amazed by this. I think it's a really powerful combination, and anyone on the planet can lose weight doing that. And again, no surgeries or anything like that, just with the watching what I eat and the times of what I eat. So if there's people out there who don't understand that the keto diet is basically no sugar, no carbohydrates, and obviously you can differ a little bit, as far as, some people do allow certain grams of carbohydrates or things in their diet. But some people, myself included, also go the other way and go to more of what's known as a carnivore diet, where all they do is eat meat, basically very little sugar, relatively few vegetables, things like that. And that's kind of where I'm at. So there's lots of red meat and lots of poultry in my diet. Also a lot of eggs. With the eggs, I have learned to love fried eggs with a very runny center. There's some theories around how overcooked yolks can actually be bad for you, and the oxidized fats, I believe, is the concern there. So lots of fried eggs in my diet with very runny centers, lots of red meat, like I said. And really for vegetables, I am very selective in most of the stuff that I eat. I try to have it be obviously very low carb vegetables, but also fermented vegetables. So I eat a lot of pickles. I eat a lot of sauerkraut, which is pickled cabbage, a lot of onions, things like that. Just kind of like the vegetables that you really don't associate with having a lot of sugars or carbs. And that's really the majority of what I do. I'm down to one meal a day. Sometimes I will do one meal every other day, which is tough but manageable once you get into what's known as a fat adapted state. That's a state where your body is running on fats instead of carbs. So once you do reach that fat adapted stage, it gets a lot easier, and you keep it going by staying on those types of meats, those types of a little bit of a higher fat diet. So I've tried keto before, and I'm sure that some people listening to this podcast have. It's obviously very popular. And one of the reasons I think I've had success this time around is because it's my most strict approach to it. It is so easy for you to let little carbs and little sugars back into your diet, back into your daily routine. And I think that it's highly underestimated exactly how strict you have to be on the keto diet. And I'm sharing that because I'm also going to share some of my lessons learned on those things that I cut out, kind of like that refinement of the keto diet. Because it's easy to say, oh yes, I'm going to avoid sweets, I'm going to avoid, bread or things like that, or pastas. But you can still get carbs other ways, right? So this has been my most strict approach to it. And one of the reasons why I think this is important is because if you're not strict about it, and you are letting in those carbs, and your body is not in a state of ketosis, which is basically like, where you're burning fat. If you haven't done that, but you think you are in a keto diet, then guess what? You're just another person eating a very high fat diet, right? Now you're eating, like a lot of red meat and chicken, thinking you're in a ketosis state, but you're not, because you had too many carbs that day, got kicked out of ketosis, and now you're just another schmuck eating a fat diet. That's bad, right? So these are some of the keys to success that I've had as far as the things that I fine-tuned for my keto approach. First thing is you got to use an app to track your hours and your keto state. Personally, there's a lot out there, but personally, I use the Zero app. I think it's pretty handy. I've paid for the yearly subscription, which I'm not sure is really worth the money because the articles and stuff and the quote unquote bonuses you get really aren't that great. But it's a good app and I wanted to support them. I also like testing and logging my ketone levels. They have a way for you to track your ketone levels. And there's multiple ways to do that. The most common way is P-Sticks, but I like the blood test. They say that the blood tests are the most common. You can buy a little kit on Amazon for the blood test. Doesn't cost a lot of money, but you do have to prick your finger every single time, and that kind of sucks. But seeing the ketone numbers to me is pretty motivating. And it also helps me make sure that I am indeed in ketosis instead of just an idiot eating too many fats again, right? Another key to success that's different in this effort is no diet sodas, even the keto ones. Also, no stevia. I think that it is highly misunderstood how much the diet sodas can affect your progress. They may not stop your ketosis, but they'll definitely slow down your progress. I have seen that. I am losing weight at a much more rapid pace than I have been when I was doing even the keto sodas, the stevia-based sodas. I think there's a soda out there called Zevio. I think that's the name, which is really popular and kind of tasty. It's a good soda. There's also the Hansen's one that's pretty good. I think that one is Splenda. But diet sodas definitely slow you down. Another one, and this one has been super hard, is no fruit. Fruits contain sugars. So while it sucks to not have some fruits that are tasty and good for you, and you can still put salt on them and stuff like that, definitely no fruits. That has been helpful to me during this particular keto period. Along with that, no starchy vegetables. So you got to make sure you're not taking in tomatoes or green beans or carrots. Those are all great vegetables, but too starchy, too many carbohydrates, too many sugars. Any of those vegetables that I take in are completely incidental, because maybe I get like a stir fry or like a stew or something that has like slices of carrot in it. So I might just eat those a little bit. But, totally incidental that I'm getting any of those vegetables in. Another tough one is no dairy and no cheese. That's super hard because it's also made me switch over to black coffee. And I've learned to love black coffee, but that was not easy. But yeah, taking in milk, taking in cheese, they have protein, but they also have the milk sugars, right? The lactose. So that one has been hard, but I think that's really helped me quite a bit because I did used to eat a lot of cheese when I had done other previous keto efforts. Cheese also has a lot of calories, which also kind of talks about my next one, which is also cutting out nuts. I love peanuts. I love cashews, but and cashews are great for you, right? Cashews have a lot of I believe they have a lot of magnesium, which is key, right? But cashews are highly caloric and they're also highly addicting. To me, nuts is one of my trigger foods. If you give me a jar of peanut butter and I take one scoopful, I will eat the whole jar. Peanut butter just sets me off and just gets me going. So highly caloric, still okay on keto. A lot of people will tell you can have those things on keto, but just for me personally, the calories and the cravings that it causes is not good. So I don't take those in during this effort. Also, very, very selective about my sauces. It's so easy to take in hidden sugars in your sauces, in your salad dressings, and things like that. Even things like basic ketchup can have a lot of sugar in them. And I've also tried experimenting with the sugar-free sauces they have. In the keto world, there's sugar-free cake frosting and sugar-free barbecue sauce and sugar-free ketchup and all this other stuff. They're using other sweeteners, but they can still stop your progress. They can still affect your progress. At the very least, they're slowing down your progress. And now you're sacrificing a lot for your keto diet and you're not maximizing the value of it because these other additives or, non-sugar sweeteners are basically slowing down your progress. So again, because I am in a fat adapted state and I'm using fat for my energy, I've actually, believe it or not, embraced mayonnaise as one of my sauces. So whenever I feel like adding an extra sauce and I want to do like a sauce with a little bit extra spice to it, I might mix up some salt and pepper in some mayonnaise and I'll eat that. If you really want to do the keto diet and really just stick to it and have something delicious, something that, again, is going to feed your fat cravings, put some mayonnaise in your scrambled eggs. I've learned to love that. I've never done that before. But now I eat mayo inside of my scrambled eggs, and it gives it like a really creamy texture. Gives me a couple extra calories to feel a little bit more energetic during the day. But it still doesn't affect my ketone levels because there's 0 carbs in both of those items. And finally, another key to success has been the cafeteria at my job, at the company that I work for. I work for a very large company in this beautiful building in New York. So we have our own cafeteria. And they have a ridiculous number of food stations that you can choose from. So on any given day, I can have Chinese, I can have rotisserie chicken, I can have salads, I can have soups, I can have, there's a grill, there's a taco station, there's like all kinds of different stations. And that really helps to have that variety because I can pick different meats to eat, different spices to have. Not sauces, remember. I'm talking about different spices or chicken prepared different ways. I can have a rotisserie chicken or I can have like a grilled chicken from 2 different stations or whatever. And they also publish the menu ahead of time, so I can figure out what sauces the chickens are in. Maybe it's in a plum sauce that I can't have because plum sauces have a lot of sugar, or things like that. So having that variety of work has really helped, and having the menus ahead of time has really helped, because then I can plan my meals and make sure I don't get into trouble with getting out of ketosis. So as far as where I'm going with all of this, I have lost more than 100 pounds. I haven't set a foot inside a gym at all. I've done it completely on diet alone. I've also come down 2 sizes from a 5X shirt to a 3X shirt. And that's quickly changing because I am losing at a rapid rate. So at least in most clothes, I'm a 3X. I'm not quite a 3X in the pants yet. Some of the pants are a little too tight. Like if I buy like some track pants in a 3X, those are still a little bit too tight. But I'm working on it. So I still have a long way to go because 3X is still a 3X. So I need to start incorporating more exercise. So I've signed up for some private pickleball lessons. I'll be taking up pickleball. There's some coaches in the area here in the New York area, so I'm going to learn how to play pickleball. My work also, in addition to a great cafeteria, also has a great gym. And they also have private trainers there that are available at ridiculous prices. So I might sign up for private training at my gym at work. So that's where I'm headed with this, and hopefully that'll take me to even more weight loss, because I think I'm going to hit a plateau with what I can do with diet alone. I mean, I know you can get pretty far with diet, and you certainly can. I mean, I'm proof of that. Again, I've lost more than 100 pounds, never set foot in the gym. So that's where I'm headed. And again, like I said earlier, maybe you're fat, maybe you're not. Maybe you're ready to do something about it, maybe you're not. That's all okay. Just take care of yourself, be good to yourself, don't be so hard on yourself. And if I can give you some support, let me know. Please reach me on Twitter at LVPokerCoach. And I thank you for listening. Hey, let's keep the conversation going. You can reach me on all socials at LVPokerCoach, all one word, on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube.